Up in the ring, you see Bruiser Brody demonstrating to some of these fans his way of training against the Iron Claw, as strange a method as I have ever seen demonstrated in my life. But just look at the thing as he screws this vice onto his head, and the strange part of it is he seems to enjoy it. He looks to me like he will be enjoying it. All right, up in the ring is Boyd Pierce. Let's pick him up.
Semifinal, ladies and gentlemen, 2 out of 3 fall with a 45-minute time limit at 265 pounds from Austin, Texas, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And his opponent with the vice in his hand, the American Heavyweight Champion, who will defend that belt next Friday night against the former champion and Iron Claw Master Fitz von Erich at 325 pounds from New Mexico, Bruiser Brody. Your referee, Bronco Lubitsch.
All right, you've got all the details. Dusty Rhodes, Big Dust from Texas. And he, of course, is the boy who will tell you that he pulled himself up by his bootstraps and that he has made himself what he is today through sheer hard work and determination not to be kept down. So it's Big Bruiser Brody, tough a customer as ever, stepped into the ring, and a big, big man. So the match now, the first fall starting, and doing the crowding is Brody, who has showed a definite respect for the style of Dusty Rhodes, and Dusty makes the most of it. This crowd really gets with him. But come to think of it, I said this crowd. Reports from all over the nation indicate that Dusty Rhodes gets with it with fans everywhere he goes, and the style that he uses has really made him the darling of every group of wrestling fans, no matter who they were rooting for. So Brody, look at the solidness of this guy. His legs right down into those big boots of his. 325 pounds of toughness, and he lays it in there, and this is a non-title match. Bruiser Brody is the American Heavyweight Champion as this match takes place, but his title is not at stake, nor is his belt at stake. And the Dust, the Big Dust, as he moves around that ring, has a lot on his side, and that's counting each and every fan here in the Coliseum. And this is Bruiser Brody at his toughest. The way this man hauls up with those kicks, tremendous. Whoa! The wind-up and the pitch, and he exploded with that elbow against the head of Bruiser Brody. And if Brody's been squeezing that vice into his head, it sure didn't do any good to strengthen it for the kind of blow that he just took on top of the head. So Brody, halfway up the aisle, gets a 20 count, just as much of a count as he would get if he was laying out on the floor here. But it's just hard to say what the big fellow's thinking about. He caught a blistering right hand, right down on the right elbow, rather, right on the top of the head. His second has been shouting the count to him. Now he's listening to Bronco Lubitsch as he tolls the fateful 20. Bruiser Brody. He's not so sure that he wants to move in on Dusty Rhodes. twist is on the arm. You see Dusty Rhodes as he maneuvers around to try to keep Bruiser Brody under control. He sharpens that elbow and he lets it fly, and we've got trouble for Bruiser Brody now as the twisting arm lock is put on, and Dusty looks for an opportunity to make it stick. If you talk about using an elbow, when you get that 325-pounder driving that one down there, you are really stocking up some TNT right at the point of that elbow. Bruiser Brody looking to plaster Dusty Rhodes down into the canvas. Dusty is one of the top name stars in the nation, and beating him would be a feather in Bruiser Brody's cap, despite the fact that he is the American heavyweight champion. So the Bruiser lashes out with that right of his, and Dusty was on the receiving end. Crashed in there, crashed hard. He's finding it. Hard lashing into the turnbuckle at the 5-minute mark as Dusty Rhodes now tries to hook up the Bruiser, but he'll never quite hook up 300 pounds. I want to tell you, oh, as he draws that leg back, these fans give a sadistic roar of approval, but Dusty hesitated, as well he might, before delivering the blow, and that much of a weight handed Bruiser Brody the opportunity to get out of it. Brody again, he follows through with that foot. He drives the foot forward with a kick and keeps his weight right in behind it. And he has literally plastered Dusty Rhodes. There's a fall. So the first fall of this match goes to Bruiser Brody. There it is. It's his first blood. And we now tell you we'll return here in a moment after this word from the studio. Well, the bell hasn't sounded, and Bruiser Brody is waiting for Dusty Rhodes to come into the ring. But look over to the right. Dusty Rhodes has come up, and he is now sneaking around to this side of the ring, the far side, as Brody waits. And the bell sounds, and here is Dusty Rhodes coming up with a sneak attack and laying it into Bruiser Brody. And Brody is smashed all over the concrete here, and here comes Dusty Rhodes with a 2x4 and a formidable weapon if ever I've seen one. Driving elbow of Dusty Rhodes, and here is the big dust descending in a cloud on Bruiser Brody. He did it. Dusty Rhodes evens the score on Bruiser Brody. This is one time that the American dream was full of unparalleled success. We're going to stay right here and watch during this brief intermission period as Dusty Rhodes makes sure that when Bruiser Brody rises up there again, he is going to let him have it. And some of the fans are hollering for Bruiser Brody to be body slammed by Dusty Rhodes. And Dusty is smart enough not to meet Bruiser at his own specialty, which is making himself just a little bit too heavy to be crash landed on the canvas. So the Bruiser, with 1 minute to go in this rest period, sits over there wondering what happened and what hit him, and not finding the answer to either one. Dusty is more than ready, and referee Bronco Lubitsch telling him to wait. Bruiser having his problems over there. I think his second is trying to explain to him what struck him. The time is running down, 30 seconds to go, and Bruiser is telling referee Bronco Lubitsch to make him step back to give him more time, and he's trying to shake some of the cobwebs out of his head. Now the fans are really rooting for the man with that charismatic style, and as the bell sounds, he's ready. So the Bruiser, who is still trying to figure it out, keeps catching it right square on the nose. Well, our alert announcer, Boyd Pierce, managed to get out of the way, and so did our agile timekeeper, Mike Williams. So we've got Bruiser on the concrete, Dusty trying to get him back in the ring where it can do something to him, and he smashed him into that table. That's an unyielding objective. Pure innocence. And as Bruiser comes back, he's a little bit upset and a little bit the worse for wear. But this is the third fall of this match, and it has not yet been decided. And Bruiser Brody caught a two-handed wallop that time, the old axe handle blow. But missing one the way he did then, with his driving force coming down and missing his target, can really take the steam out of you. Now, Dusty, a little bit the worse for wear for his running into Brody that time so soon after he had taken a lot of punishment. But right now we've got Brody up, we got the Bruiser ready, so it could be a tough spot for the Big Dust. There comes that driving foot of Brody again, and Brody, I can see the look on his face, is a little bit the worse for wear here, as he has not yet risen from his knees, but he knows a dangerous moment when he sees one, and this driving wallop into the head of Dusty Rhodes is all pure gain as far as the Bruiser is concerned. The dust is up, and he is giving Bruiser a taste of his own medicine. Drop kick and a beauty. And look at the style on the Big Dust from Texas. Fans giving the thumbs down for Bruiser Brody. Well, we're in the Coliseum. They're acting like Romans, and they are giving Dusty the okay to do anything he wants if he can. Class. And with the Bruiser now trying to rise up to his feet to get ready for Dusty Rhodes. Rhodes is getting the word from the fans. They're telling them move in, move in. Hard to find a man who gets more reaction out of fans than the Big Dust. He's got them right in the palm of his hand. They love to cheer him on, but right now he needs it. Brody trying to set him up. tell you, with the weight that this man has and the power that he has, when he swings that arm of his, he swings it hard. Caught him with a driving foot of his. Hard, solid wallop. Trying to set him up again, and set him up he did. And this could be it as far as Dusty Rhodes is concerned. That's a 325-pounder who was stretching him out on the canvas, and Dusty just raised a hand that time and waved to his fans to let them know that he was still in this fight. And in the fight he is, as he starts now to wail away at the midsection and the jaw and the whiskers of Bruiser Brody. Notice that hand of Dusty Rhodes. He's waving at the fans right behind him. And now that Dust's getting his dander up, the 5-minute mark is reached in this third and deciding fall, and Bruiser Brody threw him over the top rope, and we're going to have a fall called against the American champion. He has been disqualified in this battle here, and the fall is going to go to Dusty Rhodes. You see Brody hanging him up in the ropes. Rhodes has, Rhodes is cementing his disqualification. I guess he figures he can only lose once, but he has lost this verdict for throwing Dusty Rhodes over the top rope. And Rhodes, I don't know, Bronco Lubitsch has lost his effort to get this match under control, and Dusty has picked up the U.S. American belt, and the winner is Dusty Rhodes. This was a non-title match.